Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Blows. My name is Andrew Yika and concluding your Magnificent Seven press conference. Proud to be joined by Ekow Essuman. Ekow, you're the first person, Ekow, for the first time having you on the channel after a good year of messaging back and forth. How you doing, my man?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm good, doing very well, thank you.
Love to hear it. So, I'm going to take you back a little bit. Where did the desire come from for Ekow Essuman to become a professional boxer?
Oh, where did the desire come from? I used to be in a lot of team sports like football, going to basketball, but then there was always that onus where, say, your team loses and people starting to blame one person or so and so wasn't pulling his weight, and I got sick of that. I wanted to get into a sport where you put the work in and you get in what you get out, kind of thing. And boxing is definitely one of those sports.
Love to hear it. And you're a football fan, you're a Forest fan, right?
Gotta be.
Do you go to the ground a lot?
I don't get to go as much as I want to go after having two kids and a very busy wife of her own business. So yeah.
And talk about your Ghanaian background.
Well, just Ghanaian boy, but I was born in Botswana, got brought up there, visited Ghana a couple of times. But I mean, she's Ghanaian, she's Ghanaian.
Yeah. With Denzel Bentley, with Joel Kadua, with Saddam Ahmed, yourself included. So now we move on. I want to talk about it. When you stepped into the professional boxing ring, was it to become a British champion? Was it to become a Commonwealth champion? Was it to become a world champion? What was the goal? And I'm not going to ask you where's the end goal, but what was the desire to leap into the pro scene?
The goal started off being wanting to be the best version of myself that I could be, and in that I found out that the goal was to be a world champion.
What was your amateur record and amateur achievements?
My amateur record was something like 123 fights, probably 35 losses or so.
And talk about the night you fought Darren Tetley on the Fury versus Dillian White on the card. Would that have been one of the biggest nights of your life?
Yeah, you know what? That was such a mad experience because
Co-main event.
yeah, co-main event, and I didn't even find out I was fighting on that show until the Tuesday of that week.
Wow.
I just came into training like I was doing. I was supposed to have a fight 2 weeks after that fight, so I was training for that. And on the Monday of that fight, they rang my manager, asked him, "Oh, can I go make weight?" And I was like, any other show, I'd say no. But if it's the Wembley show, just tell him yes, because I will make I will make weight for that show. And funnily enough, it was that show. Got there fight week. Got there after the press conference, so I didn't get to feel the whole buzz of everything. And so to me, it wasn't big yet. Like it was like obviously it was the biggest fight going, but it wasn't big yet because I hadn't experienced the sheer volume and the prowess of it until fight night. Done my pad work, got my wraps done, walking out towards the ring, and my music goes. Yeah, I'm popping.
What song is it?
I did want it to be a different song than the song that came on. It ended up being a James Brown song, but I wanted Edwin Star War. But the James Brown song was good, so I couldn't have moaned. My head was bopping. Must have taken my hood down, and oh my gosh, I looked up at the crowd, and that's when it all hit me like, this is an event. And then yeah, pulled myself back together and got to the ring and did what I did.
And what a war it was.
Yeah, I think it was in that fight just proved to everyone what it means, what being the engine means, how I can keep stepping it up and up and up and up.
And you say that, stepping it up and up. Talk about the night you won the British and Commonwealth titles, and talk about defending it for such a long period.
The night I won the titles against Chris Jenkins, he was a wicked boxer. I knew that he had a lot of experience going into it, so I just really knuckled down on practicing what I needed to practice for that match, and it got postponed a couple of times, so I got even more time to make sure what I was doing was going to be exactly what I needed to, and I did exactly that on the night. I had him hurt and took him out straight away. And defending the titles, went for a long bout of defences. Won the IBF European and defended it 6 times. And the British and Commonwealth, I defended 5 times. Various opponents throwing at me from all angles, and even fought on a rival promotions show. still kept my metalware and even brought in the WBC silver. So I do what I do.
And talk about the night against Chris Congo.
Now against Chris Congo, that was the fight where I brought the WBC silver to Queensbury. Yeah, it was a wicked experience. I mean, I can't give it to the other promotion. They treated me well, very respectful. There was a bit of animosity and needle between me and Chris. That's what happens in boxing. I was the better man.
And Chris now has a title. Break down his fight against Florian Marku, and could you entertain a rematch with Chris?
It was a wicked fight with him and Florian. To be honest, I had it as soon as that fight was set. I thought with Chris's attributes and after the fight that he had with me, he would have been working hell for leather to make sure everything was working how it's supposed to be working, drilling everything. So in my head, I thought with Chris's attributes, there's no way he could. It would be Chris's fight to lose. I put it that way.
Before we talk, sorry.
Yeah, it would be Chris's fight to lose, and he didn't lose it. So rightfully so. He won the match in good fashion.
And before we go into the reason we are here today, talk about the welterweight division in the UK, Conor Benn, all the other names. What do you reckon of the welterweight division and the world?
Welterweight division and the world. It's nice now that Crawford is moving up in weight. That the belts, there's movement in the belts before, because like in the IBF, there wasn't really much movement until then. Until he fought Spence, everyone was just being a bit tentative to fight each other, and a lot of eliminators, but no real, not really anything happening at the end of them. And now it's kind of opened the door more, so things are getting a bit more traction back to where it should have been.
I loved here. And just before we conclude, you're fighting Owen for his WBO European and the English title. Do you feel like you're the underdog? Do you feel like you're the favourite? And 19-1 versus 10-0, and not to even look at the records, but is there a clear 50-50 fight as they say it, or with your experience, as you're saying, you have the tools in this one, and he's a young up-and-coming kid, so it's the experience versus the young kid?
I don't look at it too tough in any way, shape or form. He's just the next guy that they put in front of me after my last match, and with the improvements that I've made, whoever they put in front of me, I was always going to do what I'm going to do.
And do you see a knockout coming, or do you see a decision win?
It's going to be an entertaining fight.
And does this give you even more fire after the Harry Scarf loss, or are you not thinking about that in the back of your head anymore?
I'm not thinking about that, but that fight did ignite something different in me.
And Ekow Essuman, just want to let you go with some message to the fans, and what can they expect on fight night?
Just hello to the fans. I'm back where I should be, fighting on the big stage. Expect a very exciting match, bloodlust, relentlessness, unhinged Ekow Essuman.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, Ekow, the engine Essuman. Oh, by the way, where did the engine come from?
The engine, you know what? I didn't even think of it as my fighting alias or nickname. When I was on Team GB, they used to say like I used to start off in a certain fashion, and as the match went on, it was like I get fresher. It's like I get fit, I get faster and stronger. So it was always like you got a well built engine on you, like, and then that just kept saying it so much that it stuck.
We'll see the engine on July 24th. The best one, man.
You know.